got a tank.
Good to be back.
Maybe later.
What the hell's going on?
A little busy. $25 years.
Take him out. We need to get the ship.
Out of the blast zone. Hey, no.
I got an...
Next time, let's stack it.
Meet at the stern. Repeat.
Rápido, huevos. What's this now? Talking about, Donald. We lost it. Time to win. Maybe not. I'm improvising. One more and we're on Vermont. Only easy day was yet. Initial success.
Christmas, where are you?
Moving. I couldn't get the angle. Fuck no, I'm saving.
That's the biggest one I got.
Sir, there are 3... Oh, no, no, please! Please, no! Get creative! Hurry up! My driver.
Check it out, this.
Less of them.
Hey guys, today we're diving headfirst into the explosive chaos that is the Expendables 4, 2023, where the action sequences are so over the top, they might just redefine the laws of physics. We kick things off with our favorite crew of seasoned mercs, led by the legendary Barney Ross and Lee Christmas, tearing through a Libyan compound like a hurricane with extra grenades. Their mission? snags some incredibly dangerous nuclear detonators from a seriously nasty dude named Swarto. The early moments are pure Expendables gold. Motorcycle stunts that would make Evel Knievel blush, a hail of gunfire that sounds like a metallic thunderstorm, and the unmistakable thump-thump of Gunner's absurdly large machine gun. It's all going surprisingly well, you know, for a group of guys whose primary strategy is blow it up and ask questions later. But then, plot twist. Barney's plane, which probably runs on wishes and gasoline, gets shot down by Swarto. We see a massive fiery explosion in the sky, and just like that, our beloved leader is seemingly gone. Talk about a dramatic exit. I put a lot of work into these, so if you like what you see, a like and a subscribe is always appreciated. No worries if not. After that rather explosive opener, we cut to a decidedly somber mood. Imagine the world's most dangerous babysitting club trying to navigate their feelings. Lee Christmas, played by Jason Statham, is absolutely drowning in guilt, convinced that if he hadn't argued with Barney, things might have turned out differently. He's found clutching Barney's iconic skull ring, the metal cold against his skin, a stark reminder of his friend's sacrifice. The silence in the room is deafening, broken only by the occasional clink of a glass or the sigh of a grieving mercenary. Nobody's cracking jokes, which, let's be honest, is usually half their job description. Just when you think things can't get any heavier, in walks Marsh, a CIA operative with the kind of just the facts demeanor that screams, "I probably have 3 backup plans for my lunch order." He delivers the sobering news. Barney's death might have been a smokescreen. The detonators are still out there, and they're connected to a shadowy figure known only as Ocelot, whose true identity is a mystery, making them even more dangerous. The stakes? You guessed it. Global annihilation. Because really, what else would it be? So, with Barney supposedly out of the picture, Marsh decides it's time for some new blood to join the Expendables roster. Because when your team consists of guys who predate sliced bread, a little fresh talent can't hurt, right? We're introduced to Gina, played by Megan Fox, who immediately sparks a palpable, almost crackling tension with Christmas. Turns out she's his ex-girlfriend, and their history is thicker than Christmas's accent. Talk about awkward office dynamics. Joining her are Lash, a master of throwing knives whose every move is as sharp as her blades. Easy Day, who's anything but easy on the bad guys. And Gallon, Gunner's son, bringing some generational firepower. Marsh makes it abundantly clear. Christmas is benched, sidelined, told to sit in the corner and think about what he did. You can almost hear the grinding of Christmas's teeth as his pride takes a hit harder than any punch he's ever thrown. The new recruits eye the old guard, a blend of respect and, are these guys really still doing this? In their expressions, it's clear this isn't just a mission. It's a forced team-building exercise with extremely high stakes and even higher personal animosity. What could possibly go wrong? Before jumping into another global crisis, the new Expendables hit the training facility, giving us a delightful montage of impressive athleticism and the kind of martial arts moves that would make a stunt coordinator weep with joy. We see Lash's knives whiz through the air with deadly precision, Galen demonstrating impressive tactical awareness, and Easy Day proving he's anything but easy to take down. They're a well-oiled machine, or at least they're trying to be. But lurking beneath all the impressive flips and simulated gunfire is the undeniable, almost visible tension between Gina and Christmas. Their dialogue is laced with barbs, sharp as Lash's blades, and every glance they exchange feels like a mini showdown. Christmas, still benched, can't resist offering unsolicited advice, which Gina, naturally, dismisses with the grace of a woman who's heard it all before. It's a classic exes stuck on a mission to save the world scenario, only with more explosions and fewer rom-com tropes. The new team watches, probably wondering if they should bring popcorn to their next briefing. Meanwhile, the clock is ticking, and Ocelot isn't going to wait for them to sort out their romantic baggage. Next up, the fresh blood gets their first real taste of Expendables-level mayhem. The mission takes them to a dense, humid jungle in Thailand, where Swarto, the villain du jour, has set up shop in a compound that looks like it was built by a supervillain with a penchant for concrete and hidden traps. The new team, with Gina calling the shots, moves with impressive stealth, the only sounds being the rustle of leaves and the click of their weapons. They're like a highly trained ghost squad, blending into the shadows, each step perfectly placed to avoid a tripwire or a patrolling guard. The air is thick with anticipation and the buzz of unseen insects. You can almost feel the humidity and the tension building with every carefully coordinated movement. It's a masterclass in covert ops, proving that these newbies aren't just pretty faces and quick fists. They're precise, efficient, and surprisingly quiet for a group about to unleash hell. Even Christmas, watching from a distance, because he's still benched, bless his heart, would probably give them a nod of begrudging approval. For now, the calm before the storm is a symphony of subtle movements and whispered commands. Well, that stealth mission lasted about as long as my last diet. Suddenly, the jungle calm is shattered by a colossal boom, as the team makes a rather unstealthy entrance, blowing a rather large hole in Suarto's compound wall. From there, it's pure, unadulterated mayhem. Bullets whistle through the air, explosions rock the foundations, and the air fills with the shatter of glass and the clang of ricocheting rounds. The action quickly spills into a massive warehouse, a veritable playground for destruction. Gina leads the charge, her movements fluid and deadly, as she weaves through gunfire, delivering bone-jarring thwacks with every punch. Lash's knives fly with hypnotic speed, finding their marks with sickening thuds. Easy Day is a force of nature, taking down multiple enemies with brute strength and a grin that says, "Is that all you got?" Galen provides critical cover fire, his machine gun roaring like an angry beast. It's a symphony of chaos, a ballet of brutality, and a testament to the new team's formidable skills. They move with coordinated precision, a beautiful, violent dance that leaves a trail of unconscious, or worse, henchmen in their wake. Who needs a plan when you have this much firepower and sheer determination? You know that feeling when you've given it your all, but the bad guy still slips through your fingers? Yeah, that's where we're at. Despite the new team's impressive display of firepower and fancy footwork, Suarto, the greasy villain of the hour, manages to slither away in a heavily armored vehicle, leaving the crumbling compound and a trail of screeching tires behind him. It's a textbook villain escape, complete with exploding barrels and a sense of, "I'll get you next time, Gadget." Our main man, Christmas, who's been stuck on the sidelines stewing in his own righteous anger, watches the whole thing unfold from a distance. You can almost hear the grinding of his teeth. The frustration radiating off him is so intense it could probably power a small city. He's a coiled spring, wound tighter than a cheap watch, desperate to avenge Barney and get some answers. Being benched is clearly not his strong suit, and the sight of Suarto making a clean getaway fuels his rage to a dangerous degree. He knows he could have done it better, faster, with more knives. This isn't just a missed target. It's a personal insult to his entire mercenary ethos. Forget following orders or team dynamics. Christmas has had enough of playing nice. With a scowl that could curdle milk and a fierce glint in his eye, he jumps on his ridiculously powerful motorcycle, effectively telling Marsh and Gina's new plan to take a hike. This isn't just a chase. It's a declaration of independence. He roars through the bustling city streets, his engine thrumming with a primal energy, weaving through traffic with a dangerous grace. The screech of tires, the blare of horns, and the bewildered shouts of pedestrians create a chaotic symphony around him. He's a blur of leather and fury, dodging cars, narrowly avoiding accidents, and taking shortcuts that only a man with a death wish and exceptional bike skills would attempt. His focus is laser-sharp, fixed solely on Suarto. He's not just pursuing a target. He's chasing revenge, answers, and perhaps a small sliver of redemption for Barney. He's operating purely on instinct and muscle memory, a one-man wrecking crew determined to finish what was started, even if it means defying everyone and everything. Christmas, proving once again that he's better off doing things his own way, sorry Marsh, successfully tracks Suarto to a new, equally suspicious hideout. From a shadowy perch, he watches as Suarto engages in a hushed, rather unsettling video call. The voice on the other end is distorted, but the name Ocelot is dropped like a lead weight, thudding with significance. This isn't just a simple arms deal. This is a whole new level of villainy, with layers thicker than a conspiracy theorist's manifesto. The flicker of the screen, the static on the line, all amplify the sense of unease. Simultaneously, the new Expendables team, back at their HQ, is also piecing together intel. Maps, data streams, and intercepted communications start to paint a picture far more intricate than anyone initially imagined. They realize that Suarto is just a pawn, a flashy distraction in a much grander, more sinister game. The tension ratchets up another notch as both teams, separately, start to understand the true scale of the threat, and the chilling realization that Ocelot is playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers. This villain is clearly a mastermind, not just a muscle-bound thug. Almost makes you miss the simpler days of just blowing things up without all the psychological games. All right, buckle up buttercups, because this is where the movie truly pulls a fast one. And it's a plot twist so audacious it nearly broke the internet. Or at least my suspension of disbelief. The mysterious Ocelot, the puppet master pulling Suarto's strings, the ultimate big bad, is none other than Barney Ross. Yes, our fearless leader, who we all thought was spectacularly expended in that plane crash, is alive and well, looking surprisingly undead. He reveals himself to a stunned Marsh in a clandestine, dimly lit location. A wry, almost mischievous smirk playing on his lips. The thump you hear? That's probably the sound of all the audience members dropping their popcorn. It's a moment of pure cinematic shock, a powerful punch to the gut. The dialogue between Barney and Marsh is tight, filled with unspoken history and calculated deception. Barney confirms his elaborate charade, explaining that his death was a necessary step to draw out a larger, more insidious threat. He knew Marsh wouldn't approve of his methods, so he went off book, way off book. It's a testament to Barney's cunning, his willingness to play the long game, and his absolutely bonkers dedication to getting the job done, no matter the personal cost or the emotional damage to his team. Talk about dedication, or maybe just a touch of narcissism, faking your own death. Classic Barney. So, with the "I'm alive" shocker out of the way, Barney decides it's time for show and tell. He lays out his master plan to a very unimpressed Marsh, pointing to detailed schematics of a colossal cargo ship that looks like it could hold a small continent. His voice is calm, almost chillingly so, as he explains how he orchestrated his own death to trick Suardo and expose a sprawling, deeply entrenched criminal network. He deliberately led Suardo to believe he was Ocelot, knowing that Suardo would then proceed with the detonator delivery plan. Barney's ultimate goal isn't just to recover the nukes. It's to ensure they're utterly, unequivocally destroyed, along with the ship, and anyone else foolish enough to be aboard. He's talking about a full-scale scorched earth solution. The scale of his deception and the sheer audacity of his strategy leave Marsh and us speechless. You can practically feel the weight of his resolve. He's not just playing chess. He's rewriting the rules of the game with a flamethrower. It's a break a few eggs to make an omelet kind of situation. Except the eggs are nuclear detonators, and the omelet is world peace, served with a side of massive collateral damage. He truly believes this is the only way to stop an even bigger catastrophe, and he's willing to sacrifice everything to make it happen. With Barney's ridiculously risky plan now in motion, it's a full-throttle race against the clock. We see Christmas, still very much a lone wolf, blasting across the open water in a high-speed boat, the spray of ocean mist hitting his face, his eyes fixed on the distant cargo ship. He's driven by a mix of confusion, anger, and that undying loyalty to Barney, even when Barney's being a colossal pain. Simultaneously, the new Expendables team, led by a determined Gina, is also en route, but in a separate vessel. They've figured out Barney's ruse, mostly, and are trying to prevent him from taking his blow-everything-up strategy to its logical and possibly catastrophic conclusion. The roar of engines, the choppy waves, and the palpable urgency create a thrilling sense of a converging storm. It's a three-way standoff. Barney is on the ship, Christmas is coming for Barney, and Gina's team is coming for both of them, hoping to prevent a nuclear meltdown. All roads, or rather, all sea lanes, lead to this one massive cargo ship, a floating powder keg waiting for the spark. This is where all those perfectly synchronized watches finally pay off. The stage is set, and the curtain rises on a truly epic showdown. Under the cover of a stormy, windswept night, the various Expendables factions begin their daring infiltration of the massive cargo ship. You hear the whir of helicopter blades as special ops-style teams rappel onto the slippery, rain-slicked deck, their boots clanging against the metal as they hit. Almost immediately, the relative quiet is shattered by the crack, crack, crack of automatic gunfire. Suardo's guards are no pushovers. They're heavily armed and expecting trouble, which is always an annoying inconvenience. The initial skirmishes are brutal and fast-paced, a chaotic dance of bullets, fists, and frantic movement. Explosions rock the ship, sending sparks flying and concussive blasts echoing through the steel corridors. It's a symphony of destruction, a prelude to the main event. Each team battles their way through the initial wave of resistance, carving a path deeper into the ship's metallic belly, knowing that the ultimate confrontation and the fate of the world awaits within. It's a reminder that even for the Expendables, getting in is usually just the first, slightly easier part. This cargo ship isn't just a vessel. It's a floating war zone. The battle rages on with unbridled ferocity, spilling from the wind-swept deck to the ship's claustrophobic interior. On deck, amidst towering cargo containers, a furious firefight erupts. The thunderous roar of heavy machine guns mixes with the ping of bullets ricocheting off steel, creating a deafening symphony of destruction. Explosions bloom in fiery oranges and reds, sending showers of sparks and twisted metal flying. Inside, the fight gets even more personal. The new team, a tightly coordinated unit, moves through the ship's narrow, dimly lit corridors. Gina barks orders, her voice sharp and clear above the din, as she leads the charge, her every movement purposeful and deadly. Lash's knives find their marks with sickening thwacks. Easy Day plows through enemies like a human battering ram, and Galen provides expert cover fire. Every corner turned, every door breached, is met with a fresh wave of Swarto's heavily armed goons. It's a relentless, brutal grind, the very metal of the ship groaning under the immense strain. There's no fancy maneuvering here, just pure, visceral combat, proving that teamwork, even with explosive results, makes the dream work. Amidst the ship-wide bedlam, we get some glorious spotlight moments for our key players. First up, Christmas. He dives into a brutal, balletic knife fight in a tight, confined space, proving why he's the master of blades. The swoosh and clink of his knives are a deadly song, a blur of silver as he disarms and neutralizes opponents with terrifying precision. Each grunt of effort, each thud of a body, emphasizes his raw, visceral skill. It's less a fight and more a highly choreographed, lethal dance. Meanwhile, Gina absolutely shines in her command role. Her voice cuts through the cacophony of gunfire and explosions, calmly issuing orders, directing her team with strategic brilliance. She's not just fighting, she's leading. We see her expertly assessing threats, making split-second decisions that save her team from being overwhelmed. Whether it's coordinating flanking maneuvers or calling out enemy positions, she demonstrates a tactical prowess that earns the respect of even the most cynical mercenary. It's a fantastic display of both brute force and sharp intellect, showing that these Expendables, old and new, have truly mastered the art of chaotic warfare. And let's be real, seeing Christmas with a knife is always a treat, like watching a tiny, angry, highly skilled chef. And then, the moment we've all been waiting for. Christmas finally comes face to face with the man he thought he'd lost. The man who's now ready to blow up a ship with nuclear devices. Barney is standing over the armed detonator, his posture grim, a silent sentinel of his own making. When Christmas bursts in, a storm of anger, confusion, and deep-seated betrayal clouding his face, the air crackles with raw emotion. The ticking of the timer on the detonator becomes a character in itself, a relentless reminder of the stakes. Their dialogue isn't just words. It's a verbal sparring match, each sentence a jab or a parry. Christmas, his voice a low growl, demands answers, his pain palpable. Barney, surprisingly calm, defends his extreme measures, explaining his ends justify the means philosophy with the gravity of a man who believes he's already lost everything. It's a deeply personal confrontation, the kind that cuts deeper than any knife. The friendship, the loyalty, the years of shared danger. It all hangs in the balance. For a moment, the explosions and gunfire outside fade into background noise, overshadowed by the raw, emotional clash of these two legends. It's a reminder that even tough guys have feelings, especially when their best friend fakes his death and tries to blow up the world. For good reasons, obviously. Just when you thought the emotional fireworks were at their peak, actual fireworks burst onto the scene. Swarto, proving himself to be a rather persistent fly in the ointment, bursts in with his remaining elite guards, effectively interrupting Barney and Christmas's very intense therapy session. And just like that, old habits kick in. The shared history, the unspoken understanding, the years of fighting side by side. It all snaps back into place with the clink of a blade and the roar of a shotgun. Barney and Christmas, without a word, fall into their legendary rhythm, fighting back to back like they've never been apart. The thwack of Christmas's knives, the punch of Barney's fists, the staccato beat of their combined gunfire. It's a beautiful, brutal ballet of old-school mercenary action. They're a force of nature, a two-man wrecking crew, dismantling Swarto's goons with ruthless efficiency. The ship groans and shudders under the impact of their synchronized attacks. It's a glorious return to form, a reminder that some bonds, forged in fire and explosions, are simply unbreakable, even if one friend faked his own death, and the other is still mad about it. Who needs couples counseling when you have a common enemy to beat up? The ship is screaming, its metal frame groaning and shuddering from the relentless onslaught of battle and Barney's self-destruct sequence. Amidst this chaos, Christmas is hunched over the nuclear device, sweat dripping from his brow, his hands moving with agonizing precision. The digital timer on the bomb flashes red, a relentless, chilling countdown that fills the air with an almost unbearable tension. Every snip of a wire, every click of a component feels like a universe-altering decision. Barney, meanwhile, is a whirlwind of furious action, holding off Swarto's desperate remaining forces, a protective wall around Christmas. The crack of his shotgun, the whiz of bullets, the clash of metal, it all screams, "Do not distract the bomb guy." The rest of the Expendables, old and new, are also fighting tooth and nail, buying Christmas precious seconds. It's a race against global annihilation, where the hero's success depends on both brute force and delicate dexterity. The pressure is immense, The stakes are cosmic, and every thump of the ship feels like a final heartbeat. Will Christmas cut the right wire? Or will this movie end with a bang that's less fireworks and more extinction event? Well, you didn't think Christmas would actually fail, did you? He pulls it off, with literally seconds to spare. The nuclear threat is neutralized. Mostly. The cargo ship, however, is still on a one-way trip to total destructionville. In a truly spectacular finale, the Expendables, old and new, leap from the rapidly sinking vessel, their bodies silhouetted against a monstrous fireball. The ship erupts in a deafening, earth-shattering boom, sending a massive concussion wave across the water. Twisted metal, burning debris, and colossal plumes of smoke fill the sky. It's a visual feast of destruction, a glorious symphony of chaos that only the Expendables could orchestrate. They hit the water, battered but alive, emerging from the depths like action movie gods. The splash of their landing, the gasp for air, and the sheer relief on their faces is palpable. They've done it again, barely, but they've done it. The world is safe, the bad guys are. Well, they're probably scattered across the ocean floor, and the Expendables live to fight another day, or at least to complain about their aching joints. It's the kind of explosive ending that leaves you grinning, a perfect capstone to 2 hours of pure, unadulterated mayhem. Almost makes you want to buy a boat just to blow it up. After all that global-level drama and existential angst, the dust finally settles. We see Barney and Christmas in a much-needed, quieter moment, sharing a beer. The clink of bottles a gentle contrast to the recent roar of explosions. There's a quiet understanding that passes between them, a knowing glance that speaks volumes. The anger, the betrayal, the you faked your own death stuff, it's all still there, but it's now layered with an even deeper respect and an unbreakable bond forged in years of shared combat and questionable life choices. They reconcile, not with grand speeches, but with the weary camaraderie of men who understand the brutal sacrifices their lives demand. The new team members are also present, looking less like rookies and more like seasoned veterans, their faces reflecting the grueling journey they've just endured. There's a subtle nod of approval from the old guard, a symbolic passing of the torch, or at least a shared membership in the Guys Who Blow Stuff Up club. It's an earned peace, a moment of reflection before the inevitable next adventure. Because let's be real, these guys aren't built for retirement. They're built for chaos. They live for that satisfying thump of a job well done, even if it requires them to fake their own demise first.